What's your thoughts on Gary Brecka?
I'm sure he's a perfectly nice person. His claims are pretty wild.
Which ones do you disagree with mostly?
Well, I've seen him say a video of like 82% of the amino acids from whey protein are converted to carbohydrate or fat. I don't know where he got that number. I don't know where it comes from, and there is nothing to back that up. It would not be, I mean, you can't even make that claim without understanding somebody's diet on a holistic level, because 82% in what context? Like if I give them 100 grams of whey protein, 82% is going to get converted to carbohydrate or fat. Like, how are you measuring that? Like, what isotopic labeling study are you doing to support this? Because you would need that. And over what period of time? Because that label would be recycled as amino acids are broken down and recycled between various processes in the body. So like what he's saying, it would be almost impossible to even measure that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you would be measuring in a very specific framework of this much protein in this period of time, looking at these tissues using these isotopic labels.
He did manage to get Dana White to lose a lot of weight though, right?
Well, and I think so. Dana actually commented on one of my posts and got really mad. And I actually like Dana. Like I've watched the UFC for a long time. I think he's a smart guy. I think Dana's interpretation of what I said was that I was saying his results weren't real. That's not what I'm saying. Dana White obviously did a great job, changed his lifestyle, but he got healthier because he lost 30, 40 pounds. He adjusted his lifestyle. He exercised consistently, probably stopped drinking if he was drinking before. I don't know about his habits there, but like he should be getting the credit for that, not from like grounding with electric rugs and red light therapy, which there may be some benefits to red light therapy, but
I didn't look at the proposed or the protocol that magicians Dana White's weight loss. What was it?
I'm not super familiar with the complete protocol, but I mean, I know there was like infrared light and cold plunging. And again, I think one of the, like some of the cold plunge claims have been pretty extreme. Like he said, there's nothing on the surface of the earth that will burn fat faster than cold water.
This is Gary.
Yeah, it's simply not true. It's just demonstrably not true. Like if we look at the studies where people do cold water, the most of them show no effect on energy expenditure. None of them show an effect on fat loss that I've seen. And the absolute best that you see is like an increase of like 100 calories in energy expenditure in a day for like an hour or two of exposure in pretty cold water. Like, okay. And people will say, well, see, okay, but that's not the fastest way to burn fat. Okay. The fastest way to burn fat is to get in the gym, or eat less. And the other thing is actually one thing that exercise in cold water. So I know he's talking about cold plunging, but he talked about Michael Phelps and eating so many calories. First off, I don't believe that Michael Phelps was eating 10,000 calories a day. No disrespect to Michael, but he's in the pool for like 8 hours. When would he have this time to eat 10,000 calories? 10,000 calories for nobody who's never done it. That is a unbelievable amount of food.
Have you ever tried to do a 10,000 calorie challenge?
No, I've gotten to like 6,000 calories in a day, and that like it was insane. I was insane. But one thing that exercise in cold water will reliably do in studies is significantly increase appetite. So there's actually quite a few studies to show that it raises appetite. So it may not be a great fat loss tool, actually. Now, again, people will say, well, I like cold plunging. By all means, do it. I mean, there do seem to be some benefits for inflammatory markers, and some people say they feel better, more cognitive. Cool. But like, why can't we just say, I like doing this thing, instead of like creating this whole narrative around it? And what you're also doing is people will view this and it makes fitness feel really inaccessible to them, because like, well,
I don't have a cold plunge.
I don't have a cold plunge. I don't have red light therapy. No. Just like adjust your dietary habits and lifestyle, because that's what caused Dana to get healthy. Like, and again, full credit to Dana. He should get full credit.
He looks great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
he looks great.
Yeah.
And as somebody who probably has a very, very demanding, hectic lifestyle, that's not an easy thing to achieve. So my thing is, no, he deserves more of the credit than this other stuff.
The magic from that.
And then some of the other things he said was like, you only have 20 minutes of glycogen and then you're out of energy, and what happens when you have I think he said, what happens when you have no blood glucose in your no glucose in your bloodstream? And I did a video response. I'm like, you're dead when you have no glucose in your bloodstream. I think he means probably like a baseline level of glucose, but still, there's just some things that are said that I'm like, there's no real great understanding of some of this biochemistry here.
Would you debate him?
For sure. I think like another thing he said is you start to liquefy lean muscle in 3 minutes. So, I think based on nitrogen balance studies, as well as actual like studies looking at progressive loss of lean mass from detraining and things like that, at best you start to see like a loss of nitrogen from the body in a day or two. But that's not necessarily like showing lean mass loss. You really need like days and weeks to start seeing loss of lean mass. So the idea that we're just like, 20 minutes, you're through all your glycogen, and now your body's just chomping away at your muscle, that's not super accurate.
We'll get back to talking to Layne in 1 minute, but first I need to tell you about Marek Health. I wanted to get my blood work done in America, and after I asked around, I found out that Marek Health is the most sophisticated and comprehensive service out there. I loved it so much that I actually reached out to the owner to partner with them because that's how much I believe in what they do. You might have heard that I took my testosterone from 495 to 1006 last year, and that was done with the guidance of Marek Health without putting me on TRT. Best of all, they walked me through my entire lab report and gave me actionable recommendations to improve my health and my longevity. They gave me suggestions for diet, for training, for supplementation, and if I needed them, pharmaceuticals. Basically, it's like having a super well-resourced blood expert in your corner at all times. Right now, you can get the exact same panel and medical oversight I got by going to the link in the show notes below or heading to marekhealth.com/modernwisdom and using the code modernwisdom at checkout for 10% off. That's MAREK health.com/modernwisdom and modernwisdom at checkout. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, you will love the full-length 2-hour-long podcast with Layne, which is available right here.